cliche. It is what it is. So, we'll see.
It's pretty rare, though, too, to have him, like, when you consider that position. I mean, you guys would have access to him 16 games if he is able to play. I mean, is that a pretty big accomplishment for running back?
I think it depends on the situation that the running back's in. You never know that. I mean, it is hard. It depends on how many carries they're getting, how many plays they're getting. There's a lot of factors that go into that. But, we found out last year from Melvin how tough he was. And last year he had such a tremendous workload, even more than it was this year. But, he's a tough kid. I have a lot of respect for the way he prepares and just about how he goes about his business.
Melvin getting 1,000 yards. How much mentioned last year? Why is this such a banner mark for running back still in 2017?
That would be a question I should ask you guys, right? I mean, that's always been the standard, and I think it's a significant thing when you accomplish that. And, it speaks a lot to the offensive line and the tight ends and Derek Watt and those guys that are working so hard to try to help him doing that. But I think it's great. Last year it was tough because what did he come up 3 yards short? There's no question that he would have gotten it last year, and he was 1,000-yard back, I think, in all of our eyes, just because of the unfortunate part of that injury. But great for him, and good for our guys up front. It's been they've worked hard.
And also, we touched upon it last time for the Raiders, but now that Pags is their defensive coordinator, what's that like for you guys against the Stone County Chargers?
Well, first of all, Pags is a really good friend, and he's a very good football coach. But he hasn't. You see elements of what he's done before, but I mean, he hasn't had a whole year of putting the defense in, and he's been contributing. So I don't know that it's necessarily what you would say, but you're certainly he knows us to a great deal. We know him. It'll be fun. He's a good football coach.
How much better is your offense in week 17 than it was when you guys faced the Raiders in, was that week 5? Week 6? Week 6.
Well, I think it was obviously a big win for us to be able to go in there and finish the game the way we did and get the win. And that was a part of where we started to do things better. We've had, just like any team, some ups and downs. We played good. We played other times where we haven't played as good. But, I think that what's really we've been able to do is win some games, even last week. There was a lot of things that were worked against us, but we found a way to win that game. So I think we're large credit to our guys and the way they work. We're mentally a tougher football team, and we're able to handle some of those situations. And we've had some guys make plays for us. That's what's happened. We've had a lot of guys step up. And Sean McGrath is a perfect example in the game last week. It was a big catch that he made that got us down to the goal line where we scored that touchdown. And that's not something that you would say, oh, in a critical situation we're going to go to Sean McGrath. So that, to me, is what it's all about. And we've had a number of guys do that. I mean, Sam Tevy came in and played left tackle as a rookie. That's hard to do, and that's a good defense, those guys. And he held up well. So, when you talk about being a better football team, I'd like to think that mentally we're a tougher football team and we're able to handle those things. And our guys enjoy playing with each other, and that's big. That's what you want to. That's where you want to be at this time of year.
What do you think of how Brandon played this past weekend?
I thought he did a good job. You could tell there was a little bit of rust because of just not having played in a while. But, he did some good things for us.
Was having Gase be able to come in for Henry like that at the end of the year, how much does that help you offensively? Basically a future Hall of Famer that's coveted to replace a guy that obviously a pretty good player too.
Yeah, well, it's great to have that. And when you talk about a pro, you talk about a Hall of Famer, you talk about a guy that does it the right way. That's Antonio, and that was very evident by the way he played in that game. He hadn't gotten as many reps as he's used to, but when it was time for him to step up, he did that. And I think back to last year, it was about, I don't know where it was, maybe 8 or 9 games, maybe 10 or 11 games in, and Hunter missed the game, and he had to play because they were splitting last year. And Antonio was getting more reps, and we played the Titans actually in San Diego, and all we had was Antonio, and he went the whole game. I think he got maybe 70-something snaps in that game and did a great job of blocking their defensive ends. And that, to me, is what being a true pro was all about. And you saw that from him. And, it was evident again Sunday in New York that, that's why he's such a great player. In those situations for the team, he steps up and does a great job. It's great to have him on our team to be able to do that.
Is it realistic when you go into almost have to have two kind of mindsets as this is how we want to attack because Melvin's status is up in the air, or is it just we can do the same things with Brandon as we can do with Melvin?
Well, I mean, there is a history of Brandon in this offense and understanding what he needs to do. And, it was good to have Brandon with us this whole year, that's for sure, because he looked really good in camp last year when he got hurt and missed the whole season. But I think that you plan accordingly to how you're going to attack him, and then maybe if you don't have somebody, you adjust that according to what the skill set is of the guys that are in there. But we have a lot of confidence in Bo and what he can do. And, it was good to see him out there on the field, and he looked good last week.
When do you think it was that you guys discovered that this team is so mentally tough? Was it coming back from the 0-4, or did you know that even during that night?
I think part of it is that. When you're 0-4, I mean, that was tough. That was a tough road, especially with a couple of games that were close. The first one against Denver where we had the field goal that was blocked at the end to tie it, and then missing the field goal against Miami that could have won the game for us. But the one thing I think that helped us is that we were in a lot of those games, and we knew that we felt like, I shouldn't say knew, we felt like we had a chance to be a pretty good football team. And it's ironic to me that it all started in New York where we got another good win last week in New York, and we pulled out a win there at the end of that game, and that helped. And it seems like a lot of it has been team wins. Both sides of the ball, as well as making some plays in special teams, have contributed to that. But I think when you win a couple in a row after starting 0-4, you start to believe. And then we had a tough stretch with New England and Jacksonville. Obviously, two games that we felt like we were in, or maybe if we'd have gotten a play to work out here or there, we could have won. And then we came back and won 4. And I think that's really where it fortifies your opinion that you have a chance to be a good team. It was tough in Kansas City because that was a situation where, you were on a roll and you'd like to win. But we bounced back and found a way to win last week. So, are we the greatest team ever? No, I'm not saying that. I just think that, we got a lot of guys that have stepped up. And when you talk about team, we're pretty good from a standpoint of how we work together, and that's important.